here in the corner at Courthouse Pizzeria with the sun in the background and the view on the world. It's a bit of an interesting morning. So tell me a little bit, you're one of the newer businesses in town. You have
Yes.
Sparrow Art Gallery.
Yes.
How did you come up with that name? What does that mean to you?
Well, prior to opening an art gallery, we my husband and I started going on the mission field.
Okay.
And we were building relationships with artists on the mission field and then bringing them back. And then we opened the gallery and continued to travel and purchase art. To me, art is reflected, people that create reflect their culture, the history, the time in which they live, what they believe, their belief system. And so in purchasing art and traveling, the Bible actually talks about he cares for sparrows. Sparrows live everywhere in the world and yet kind of go unnoticed. And how much more he cares for us. So I kind of made that correlation and it became Sparrow Art Gallery when we opened the gallery.
Okay, cool.
So we love fair trade and purchasing art from different countries and then bringing it back to our gallery for sale and for people to view.
Okay. How did you, what's your background with the arts? How did you get into this, or is it more just your appreciation of beautiful things, that it was a natural progression?
My father was an artist and my mother an interior decorator.
Okay.
So it's kind of goes back from my childhood. And then I also have an art degree, a fine art degree, a BFA.
Okay, focusing on what?
Painting and a minor in pottery.
Are you from Medina? Are you and your husband from the area?
No, we live in Strongsville.
Okay.
And we actually opened the gallery beginning 2 years ago in Lodi on the square. They have a little historic square in Lodi. And it just was painful for us because we rarely had anybody come in.
Okay.
And so we started seeking where to move the gallery. And we kept looking at Medina and we thought, this is great. I love it. It just seems like it's an up-and-coming art mecca to me. It feels that way. So we finally
I love art mecca.
Mecca.
That can be our goal. We'll be the art mecca.
that's
America's
here.
hometown and
The
America's
new one.
art mecca. I love it.
So we found the space in the arcade on the south side of the square.
Yeah. So in the gallery, I know that you have obviously paintings and pottery, but what's really your focus of where do you see the gallery going, or what do you want it to be?
We started kind of focusing on the fair trade, purchasing artwork from different countries, but also trying to give the artisan a fair price for their wares so that we could sustain their livelihood. And then we also want to support the local artist. And so we kind of do both. And so we have a little bit of everything. Fair trade, we have pottery, paintings, sculpture, blown glass.
Nice. Your mission work, how did you get into that? What does that mean to you?
We started with our church, Grace Church. There's a Grace Church in Medina, and we go to the one on Gent Road. We just wanted to go on the mission field to help people. Okay. And then from there, we started developing the relationships with the local artists and trying to help them by sustaining their livelihood.
Where's some of the countries
we go to Haiti every year.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's called Birsi, Haiti, the same village every year.
I mean, so I'm imagining that you're building relationships with the people in these towns and the artists.
Yes.
Do you go there and help like build schools or do education?
Yes.
For the mission, what do you do there?
We help bring clean water to the village. We've helped with building a school. We also helped raise a church. There's a new church there in Birsi.
Oh, cool.
It's young. And actually, the pastor came here to Medina just a couple weeks ago. It was interesting because One Lucky Dog Bakery is next door, and he thought it didn't register a bakery for dogs. Oh, okay. It was cute.
So in your art background, is there what do you collect? What speaks most to you? What do you surround yourself with?
I love everything from minimalism and abstract to super realism or photorealism. Okay. So I kind of look more for, I seem to gravitate toward really bright colors and more of the abstract type thing.
I was an art history major, so one of my frustrations is when people go to like Target or World Market and there's all these prints and reproductions, and I guess it's a way to bring something you love into your home, but I'm always thinking, oh, just buy something real and
Yes,
authentic.
I agree.
How do you help people understand maybe the investment in art or what it can mean in their life? How do you make that connection with your customer?
That is a tough, that's a tough thing, because some people just appreciate art and others do not. I think it goes hand in hand with music. Say jazz.
Yes.
Some
Okay.
people don't appreciate jazz, they don't understand it. I try to relate that to abstract art. It's like jazz.
Do you think sometimes people think that, we'll call it real art's too expensive, or it doesn't have a place, or maybe it doesn't match their sofa, which drives me nuts. It doesn't have to. I mean, how can you educate people that you can have something real and authentic that was created by hand, by a real person, and it's not going to break the bank?
I think, again, it's tough, because I think some people just, they don't appreciate it. They want something in their home that matches, like you said, then that
Sure.
kind of goes with the interior decorating. But it can be passed down to generations. It has more value than
Right,
something
right.
you're going to pick up at Big Lots or something.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and there's some beautiful things out there, but it's not. I don't see it as an investment.
Yes,
You know,
and
it's
again,
interesting.
art reflects people's culture, the time and history in which they live, their belief system.
Sure.
So there's so much more in art that's expressed by the person who created it.
Okay. So you're in the Marketplace Arcade or Marketplace. It's a bit of a challenge to find it, you know.
It
But
is.
once you go back down the arcade, there's the gallery back there, which is awesome. What has the response been from the Medina community when they do discover the gallery and come in and meet you guys?
They have been very, very welcoming.
Okay.
Everybody in Medina has helped us so much get the word out that we're there.
So you decided you had the gallery in Lodi, you moved it here. What, in Aurelia's dream vision of the square, what would you like to see the square become or build more upon what's already here?
I would love to see more art galleries move here. I would love to see the art community just flourish. I love everything that they do on the square as far as the events that we put on, and I just want to continue to be more and more a part of it.
Has the art community in Medina responded well to the gallery? Have there been many conversations back and forth?
I feel like there has been some. Again, we've only been here 2 months. We are part of the Medina County Art League, and
Okay.
we started that when we were in Lodi. So we try to correspond with them as far as call for artists if we have an event coming up. And
Nice.
there's been pretty good response, but I think we can build that.
Okay.
Build a foundation there, and I want to continue with doing events all throughout the year.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
No, in the gallery you have some four-legged fur kids. Tell me a little bit about their role in the gallery.
We have a white greyhound, and she's pretty much I want to say a still life. She just lays around. And
Yeah.
then we have a little Italian greyhound who is full of energy
Who's
and full
so
of life.
cute.
And we're
So
trying
cute.
to teach them not to cross the threshold of the doorway.
Okay.
But as people come in the arcade, it kind of helps pull them in. And, oh, look at
Yeah.
these cute dogs. And so they
And
want
there's
to
a
come
dog
in.
bakery across the
It's
hallway.
perfect.
You know, they're like, Mom, come on.
And Stacy's been great as far as sending people over. She says, they're dog friendly. Go ahead on
Oh,
over
cool.
to see the
Okay.
gallery. Yeah, she's been great.
Growing up with your father being an artist and your mom an interior designer, how did that play into your childhood? I mean, did you have like amazing playhouses, or how did that create the person that you are today?
It was a very amazing childhood because we didn't have TV. My
Okay.
father, not only was he an artist, he was also a musician, and
Oh,
he
wow.
wrote plays, and he created marionettes and had marionette shows. So we just interacted creatively as a family. It was great.
Sure.
My mother, of course, was an interior decorator. I traveled with her a little bit. I worked in her shop as I got to be a teenager.
Okay.
So it was filled with a small creative community of their friends and them.
I'm curious, with your eye for beauty and for fine arts, do you have a favorite building on the square?
I haven't decided yet. And I haven't been inside of a whole lot of
Sure.
them.
Okay.
But I do look at the structure. I wonder how old certain buildings are. We even looked at it's interesting, we even looked at the garage behind our house. I thought, wouldn't that be a great studio to blow glass or do something in there, or throw on the wheel, because I can't do that in the studio space that I'm in. But
I know
some of the structures are older, and it's just interesting that, you know, you kind of wonder how old. Or,
Sure. Well, interesting that you say that. The building in which we're sitting right now was the first permanent courthouse in Medina. So the main core of this building is from 1821.
Wow.
And it's the seventh, let me get this right, it's the seventh oldest standing public building in the state of Ohio. So, I mean, this building has a fascinating history, and now obviously it's Courthouse Pizzeria. Do you get many kids that come to the gallery? Or how can you reach out for maybe those who don't have access to
with
fine
dogs?
arts? There you go.
That pulls kids in every time. Yes.
So maybe put the dogs out front and a sign, you know, come see mom.
Sometimes we do that. We'll put the table on the square as you had suggested.
Sure.
And so either my husband or I are on the square during an event with a dog, and the gallery's in here, and it actually does draw people in.
Absolutely.
It's great.
Oh my gosh. How, I don't know much about your husband. How does he fit into the role of the arts? Is he a lover? Is he an artist? Is he a supporter of you?
We have a
obviously
great
he's
story.
A supporter.
We have a great story.
What's your story?
Cool Beans, the prior owner had wanted some paintings of mine in to be displayed on the walls. And my husband, who lives in Strongsville, he's an avid cyclist, so he would ride. His ride would come to the downtown square, and he would stop at Cool Beans for coffee. That was his midway point. And then he would ride home.
Okay.
And my paintings were hanging in Cool Beans. And he just kept looking at one in particular.
Oh, wow.
And he kept thinking, I want to buy this painting, but he was always on his bike. And then the business was sold.
Okay.
And we have a mutual friend who said, I have her paintings, because he said, I procrastinated and the paintings are gone. And she said, I have her paintings, and you know, he wanted to meet me then. So that's how we met, was from Cool Beans and my paintings. He fell in love with my painting first.
Okay.
So that was great.
Hey, it's kind of like the dogs. Get them in the door, you know, make that introduction.
So we actually kind of met through Cool Beans.
Okay. Oh, that's
and
really
my painting,
cool.
of course.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's just kind of a cool story.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us and a little bit about the
Thanks.
gallery. We hope it continues to thrive for you. You know, coming into the holiday season, I'll be curious to see what you guys do with it and how we can get more people in to support that.
It's great.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking with you and getting to know you better. I
Thank
appreciate
you so much.